Hello again, my fellow historians. Guy Moore from sunny Okinawa. It's still sunny here, just for the record. Just want to do a quick discussion today on what I have learned so far in my studies in our course. My focus has actually been much more on the Quakers than any other group. It's been kind of an interesting journey for me. I grew up in Iowa, and where we live in Iowa, we have a very strong Amish population. I kind of lived out in rural Iowa near Independence. And I don't know if it's local, your legend or what, but I had always in my mind associated the Amish with the Quakers. And come to find out, they are actually relatively closely related, but they're not the same thing, even though I thought they were. Really, one of the big dissensions on that one comes to, they're called the Pennsylvania Dutch, which actually comes from the German word Deutsch, which is what they call themselves, because it was actually groups of German immigrants who settled in Pennsylvania. And then as the Quaker Church started to have some fragmentation, one of the groups broke off. It was the Amish group who came out to Iowa, but we'll talk a little more about that in a little bit. Part of the reason I chose these guys is as we were doing some of those initial readings, one of the ones that I chose was on Mary Dyer and the Quaker executions in Boston, Massachusetts, and back in 1630. It's something I'd never heard of. And so from there, it kind of led into my historical question, and I started pursuing the abolition groups and their record on slavery and Christianity, because in my mind, I really have a hard time understanding how Christians can support slavery. And knowing that the Quakers were a very strong Christian group, that one really kind of came to sway, especially as I started doing some of that initial research. Started seeing that a lot of the Quakers were heavily involved in the early abolition movement, and in many cases were some of the leaders, even within the Underground Railroad. So just for the record, the Quakers, their formal name is the Society of Friends. One thing I found really interesting about them is they don't actually have a regular clergy, at least the true Society of Friends. Their meeting houses, basically everybody comes in, and you speak if you're moved by the Spirit, is what I've been able to uncover in my research from them. So without a regular clergy, you don't get a whole lot of really big lessons. One of the major tenets of the Quaker religion is that it's your relationship with God is really a very individual one. They do believe in the Bible. They believe in Jesus, but their concept is it has to be an individual journey. One thing I find very interesting on this as well is they are very strong into education. They're very strong into they don't really have a huge role in government. They don't like to take oaths to anything because oaths are between you and God. And so doing any kind of oath to anything else is not really good. The other big one is pacifism is a major tenet of the religion. They don't believe in violence. And this is one that has continued throughout the years. Today, most of the Quakers are a very liberal group, so very much into free thinking, understanding your own relationship with God, less government interference, but let everybody be themselves. I just wanted to finish with where I found that the Amish broke off, and this is kind of one of those I got from a quick internet search, but a few big ones. The Amish is a belief based on simplicity and strict living. One thing that always struck me growing up near them was they don't have electricity. They literally still ride around in buggies. They believe very much in community-based farming. The Amish religion does have priests where the Quakers do not. The Amish believe in maintaining the ways of the past and don't consider using modern amenities. And other beliefs lead to different lifestyles. Both believe in God and in peace. So that's what I have learned so far. Thanks for watching. Okay.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you got to fix that.